Last night's game, England-Brazil. I thought it was a very open game, but I thought England played some really good stuff. Jack Wilshere was outstanding. So good to see him back. He's been out for a while. Big Jack Wilshere fan. I thought he had a really, really good game. There were patches in the first half where I thought England played some really, really good football. I thought the first goal, if I think if Brazil had scored that first goal, the pundits would have been salivating over it really, because it was a fantastic move, great passing. Not the greatest Brazil team; they're still building towards the World Cup. They're obviously hosting. Um, Still some work to do for them, but it's still Brazil, and England can take a lot of pride and a lot of encouragement from the performance and the results. So I'm going to have a bit of a rant today. How can you say that had Baltimore got 3 points at that stage, that half the game later the score would be exactly the same, except Baltimore 3 more points? Games change in sport. Incidents change games. Big or small incidents, doesn't matter what sort of incidents. Injuries, in football, sending off for a dramatic moment, a high tackle, obviously a goal, anything can change a game. Now, sticking with American football and this particular game, if they kick the field goal, they then kick off to San Francisco instead of giving up possession where the ball is. So what if San Francisco from the kickoff had gone up the other end and scored? It's an entirely different game. It's a completely different situation. And say they return it to the halfway line, and we get a different set of circumstances, a different set of plays to be called, different mindsets on every player, and that the game changes from that point. I don't understand why pundits say these things that really are basic to me. It drives me crazy in football. They'll say, well, if you hadn't missed that penalty, it'd be 2-1. It would have ended 2-1. No, it wouldn't. Not necessarily. It could have done, but the game would have been completely different. You go 1-0 up, you get the penalty, say you score it, you're now 2-0 up, not 1-0 up. Different mindset on both teams. The team that's 2-0 up might become more defensive, more tight. The team that's 2-0 down instead of 1-0 down will be more, either feel more down or get a kick up the arse from the manager. Or there's so many different things that can happen in the course of a game. These incidents change. Think of all the millions and millions of games that have ever been played. Every single game of football is completely different from the next. These people are supposed to know their football, and that, to me, is unforgivable, basic. I mean, does he work for the Sun? Double page spread. What would have happened down the years if the silver goal had been in place in the 1966 World Cup, in such and such, in such and such? And just going to the 66 World Cup, they were saying things like Jeff Hurst would have never scored a hat-trick because his over-the-line goal would have been the winner, and it would have been 3-2. It's like, come on, the whole tournament would have been completely different. It's not like the whole mindset of the players would be completely different if they know there's a silver goal, that one goal's going to win it. Honestly, the Germans would have been throwing everything at it in the first half of extra time if they were 3-2 down. It would have been a completely different game. And the mindset during the 90 minutes would have been completely different. The whole tournament before that would have been completely different. And they warranted a double-page spread on this. It's just ridiculous. Games turn on every little incident. Doesn't matter whether it's football, American football, snooker, darts. It's so unpredictable. Games turn on little incidents or big incidents. And it's absolutely ridiculous to say amateur things like that on TV and get paid for it. It is a disgrace. I'm fed up with it. From that point on, it's a different game. And I just So enough of that. Mentioning Jamie Carragher announced his retirement at the end of the season. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I must say I do admire players that are one club men, probably more than other players. Jamie Carragher's obviously been at Liverpool his whole career, along with Steven Gerrard. You've got Giggsy and Scholes at Man United. Someone like Tony Adams at Arsenal, spent his whole career there. Going over to Europe, Paolo Maldini, over 20 years a Milan player. Going back further, you've got people like Matt Le Tissier, his whole career at Southampton. Steve Bull, Wolves through and through. You couldn't even imagine him wearing another shirt. I take my hat off to these players. I mean, it's obviously it's easier to stay at one club when it's a big club, but even so, I think it's nice. Um, they've been able to stay at one club. They become synonymous with that club. I'm sure Liverpool fans absolutely love Jamie Carragher. Hope you've enjoyed it. Bye for now.